Are AirPods Pro 3 the best wireless microphone for iPhone? Let's find out. And actually, you're hearing the audio from the AirPods Pro 3 right now. I'm filming on my iPhone 16 Pro, and I have the audio set to this automatic mode because there's automatic, there's standard, and then there's voice isolation. I like the automatic mode. It's kind of like the most plug and play version. You just start recording. I'm also testing the AirPods Pro 3 versus the DJI Mic Mini, which I feel like is a much better wireless solution. But the thing about the AirPods Pro 3 is you probably already have them in your pocket as well as your iPhone. So in a pinch, I think this is actually a pretty amazing like wireless microphone setup. The DJI mic, or a dedicated wireless mic with a little receiver thing that you plug into your iPhone, like this will sound generally better than the AirPods Pro 3, which use Bluetooth. And Bluetooth mics in general just sound kind of like trash on iPhone because there's a lot of like garbling and weirdness. So here's what the AirPods Pro 3 sound like as a microphone while driving a little bit. So I have the air conditioning going, it's kind of loud, and I'm using the automatic mode right now. So in a second, I'm going to switch over to voice isolation to see if it gets rid of some of the air conditioning noise. And now we're on voice isolation mode. How does this sound compared to the automatic mode? Hopefully you're hearing less of the deep rumble from my car driving, road noise, you know. And you could probably even fart in this mode and nobody would even hear it in your video, which is a pretty amazing feature. Okay, let's do a range test with the AirPods Pro 3 connected to my iPhone 16 Pro. This is about 50 feet away over here. Can you hear me okay? Hopefully there's not much interference. So now I'm about over 100 feet away and I'm still getting a signal from my Apple Watch. So can you hear me? Like, how does my voice sound? It would be really cool if I could switch using the Apple Watch to like the voice isolation mode or the automatic mode or standard or whatever without having to go all the way over to my phone to switch it over. Admittedly, it does make me a little nervous thinking about the AirPods Pro 3 Bluetooth connection dropping out, but these do use Bluetooth 5.3 and my iPhone is also Bluetooth 5.3.
Skirt, Editor Ben here. So I did a test like walking away from the phone using the AirPods Pro 3 in my backyard the other day, and there was a lot of interference and it was acting really janky. So the test you just saw was actually really good. I was very impressed, but watch this test coming up.
I can't even measure how far this is going to be. I go all the way back here. Can you still hear me talking? Actually, a little noise.
It was kind of janky as hell and there were all kinds of dropouts and stuff. So
it's definitely not going to sound as good as something like a dedicated microphone like the DJI Mic Mini, which we will switch over to in 3, 2,
1. And now you are hearing the DJI Mic Mini, so you can probably hear how much more crisp and clear and more natural it sounds. And I also love how tiny this thing is. Like, it's not that much bigger than the AirPods Pro 3 case, and you can easily carry it in your pocket or whatever. The range is also insane for the DJI Mic Mini. I think it goes up to like 400 meters line of sight, which is kind of crazy. In fact, let me back up right now. It's a little bit breezy. I'm hearing some wind noise. I have it set to basically like the automatic settings, and I'm probably about maybe 50 feet from the iPhone right now. I'm gonna walk all the way over here, hopefully think of something interesting to say. What did I do today? I went to the gym and I met with a personal trainer for the first time in my life, which is an interesting experience. So I'm all the way over here, maybe about 100 something feet away. Being a YouTuber in public is a bizarre experience, y'all. People love to stare. They love to look right into the camera. They love to just like look me right in the eye, and it kind of freaks me out. But anyway, what do you think of the DJI microphone compared to AirPods Pro 3? This is going to be the best sounding audio for sure, the most natural, the most crisp, because it's not using Bluetooth. So of course it's going to sound a little cleaner and better. And just for shins and giggles, let's actually switch over to the AirPods Pro 2 so we can see what these sound like.
Okay, now you are hearing the audio from the AirPods Pro 2. So I'm really curious. I'm actually not sure myself how this sounds versus the AirPods Pro 3. I'm really loving the AirPods Pro 3 so far, and I think the microphones are even better on the 3s versus the AirPods Pro 2. But you be the judge. Let me know what you think. Let's do a little range test with the AirPods Pro 2. Now I'm about like 50 feet away from the iPhone, and hopefully you're still hearing me. How does the AirPods Pro 2 sound compared to the AirPods Pro 3 and the DJI Mic Mini? My guess, without looking at the footage, is the DJI Mic Mini is going to sound the best for sure. In second place is going to be AirPods Pro 3, and then third place probably AirPods Pro 2. But now let's switch back over to the AirPods Pro 3. It's so hard to say these things fast, y'all. All right, let's do a simulated vlogging test using AirPods Pro 3 as the microphone. I'm using automatic audio mode right now, and there's some cars driving around, there's some construction noise. So I just switched over to voice isolation mode. So maybe some of the background noises and wind and stuff like that will be taken out. But the kind of kicker about this mode is I think it accentuates, it's using all this processing and stuff to get rid of these noises. So I feel like there might actually be a little more attention to like how crunchy and weird your voice sounds when it's using the AirPods Pro 3 as a Bluetooth microphone. Okay, so I am standing next to a literal construction site. I am using the automatic audio mode. Kind of curious how much of construction noises and stuff like that are actually going to appear, because it's where I'm standing right now, it's actually quite loud. Okay, now we're using voice isolation mode. There's a literal construction vehicle behind me. There's a lot of noise right here. And yeah, is voice isolation mode doing its job? Are you able to hear my voice nice and vividly? Because if you are with an actual giant, like super loud motor, I can barely even hear myself talking right now. If you can still hear my voice and not much of the background noise, that's pretty miraculous. And that's definitely going to do a lot better than the iPhone. Speaking of that, let's switch to what the iPhone 16 Pro microphones sound like without AirPods Pro connected. Okay, so now I'm shooting with the iPhone 16 Pro internal microphone in automatic mode, so the voice isolation thing is turned off. You probably can hear a lot more of like the environmental noises, the construction sounds, and that kind of thing. It's a bit of an extreme test, but I thought, this is kind of maybe a real world vlogging, situation for you. Okay, now you're hearing the iPhone 16 Pro internal microphone, no AirPods, no wireless microphone. So this is what voice isolation sounds like. I don't know if you can hear that really loud buzzing right now, but it is super loud over here. All right, now we are back to using AirPods Pro 3 as the microphone. So it's probably sounding pretty different versus the internal microphone. At least I hope so, on the iPhone 16 Pro. And overall, this implementation I think is really cool. Obviously, the sound quality is not the best in the world, but I think this is more for content creators who like the convenience of already having your AirPods on you and not having to carry around like any extra gear. I personally don't like to carry a bunch of stuff, so I might actually use this, even though I know the audio quality isn't as good as the DJI Mic Mini. I would probably use this actually, if I'm out and about vlogging and I have like a sudden idea or something. That happens all the time, and there's a lot of times where I actually wish I had better audio than just the internal microphone in my iPhone, especially if you're in like a pretty noisy area. The voice isolation feature, I think, also makes a huge difference, but it does make your audio like a little bit more compressed. You can tell the iPhone's doing real-time processing and stuff, so it doesn't sound very natural. It sounds a little supernatural, but I think it's definitely usable. One of the strengths of using your AirPods Pro 3 as your wireless microphone is, to me, it's actually a lot more discreet feeling than using a dedicated handheld microphone. So for example, if you have like social anxieties about filming in public as a content creator, with your iPhone and your AirPods, like it literally looks like you're just talking to someone on your phone, like maybe you're making a FaceTime call or something. So I feel like maybe it draws less attention than using a dedicated camera and a very obvious, like visible microphone. People will probably just walk by you on the street and think you're just making a call or something. Another thing I think is important to note when using your AirPods as a microphone is it takes the algorithm like sometimes like a second or two to adjust to your voice, like doing all the background computations and stuff. So when you first start your recording, I wouldn't just go right into talking. I would actually say something first, like, testing, literally anything, like say that into the microphone so it adjusts your voice, and then start talking, then start giving your spiel in your video. Otherwise, it might sound kind of garbled at the beginning. So let me know what you think of this test. Like, what did you think of using AirPods Pro 3 as a high quality microphone for your iPhone? TLDR, it's a really cool feature, but honestly, I don't think it's the best audio quality. There's definitely better options such as the DJI Mic Mini, but it's better than nothing. And it does a pretty good job, honestly, for what it is. But just don't expect like the cleanest and most natural sounding voice. It's going to sound kind of crunchy and like garbly, and there's probably going to be some cutouts and stuff like that. So just some stuff to consider. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was useful. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, leave a devil emoji in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.